Successful planting starts with good ground prep. Generally in the fall we go through with a disc ripper.
Sugar beets are a crop that they need having a deep tillage. The roots go up to 2-3 feet in areas, and so they need to be able to get to those nutrients in the water.
The previous crop in this field and in most of our fields for our crop rotation, we tend to follow malt barley most of the time.
It improves soil health, gives us a chance to let the soil recover from one crop that is hard on one nutrient, lets the soil build back after each crop.
It starts with the barley crop in the previous year, and when we combine and we roll in with the harvester, we're thinking about the sugar beet crop. Our program is primarily strip till. We go right into the barley crop with our strip till machine. We have a lot of wind out here, so we try to get the sugar beet out of the ground as fast as we can. That's why precision planters, the technology we have on those planters have been crucial to get that crop out of the ground as fast as we can.
As far as precision, as far as GPS and using precision ag, that's 100% across all of our equipment now and has been for a few years.
We like the technology side of it. There's a lot of technology, especially in the planting side. Anything you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And if you put in a bad crop, you can't expect any good results. So the Harvest International Row unit with precision parts, we're able to then track the planter and kind of get an idea of what the seeds are doing a little better before they're even placed in the ground. We plant it 3/4 inches deep and about 5.5 inch spacing. You need to have it deep enough that it has a consistent moisture, but you don't want to have it too deep that it's going to run out of energy before it gets out of the ground.
Deciding when to plant is really just kind of Mother Nature. So we have an obvious window, usually April for this area. But like this year when there's a lot of snow and it was a really slow spring coming out to warm up, it's the combination of, are we far enough into the year where we're out of the risk for significant frost damage? Is the field dry enough to be able to get equipment on it? Is Mother Nature going to cooperate and let us get in there?
Once our sugar beets are planted, we'll start with irrigation. Generally, we'll irrigate right after the sugar beets are planted. The majority of our irrigation is center pivots. We have a few wheel lines, a few hand lines, but the most of it is pivots. It's a lot less labor intensive, which is what helps our farm a lot.
For a successful beet crop with maximum sugar percentage, we need a healthy canopy as long as possible, because that canopy is what is capturing all that sunlight and converting it into sugar. Ideally for a sugar beet, we'd want to harvest them all the 25th of October, but the logistics just don't make that possible. So we spread the harvest out. The bulk of our harvest early starts and runs through September, and then the regular season or the regular campaign is in October. And primarily we dig from about October 1st to Halloween.
There's two different operations that are happening at the same time. We have what's called a beater or a scalper or a defoliator, and the purpose of that is to take the leaves off the beet. You want to deliver a clean, disease-free beet to the factory, and part of that is making sure that there's no green growth. The green growth is what's going to rot or cause other issues during the storability time of a sugar beet. And so the defoliator goes through and it'll take off the tops and it'll come in and scalp it. Even though the green is totally gone, if you don't scalp the sugar beet, it'll actually start regrowing leaves. And in doing so, it'll decrease the sugar in the beet itself because it uses the sucrose as the energy to continue to produce the plant.
Harvest can be a pretty stressful time. A lot of times the best thing to do is step back and calm down just a little bit. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is having good help. And that's tough to find, but if you have good help driving the trucks and in the tractors, it makes a huge difference to having an efficient harvest and not having unnecessary problems.
During our harvest process, we deliver our sugar beets to local receiving stations, and they're spread out to lower the amount of freight and to help with good storage locations. Those storage locations at our receiving stations, we have vented piles now.
The purpose of having a ventilated pile is that it allows the beet to be in a more sheltered environment. At the factory, there are cellars that they'll put them in, but cellars are very expensive. During late fall, what they'll do is they'll run the fans to get the sugar beets cooled down.
The receiving stations, I've got a few of them around me that are just 3-4 miles away. It helps the trucks get back to the field quicker so we can just keep the harvest going.
There's been very few years as of recent since they've developed new policies and protocols that we've had to discard many beets. Most of them are able to get back to the factory and be processed into what makes us money, sugar.
Sugar is an important commodity because it's used in a lot of things in the household. They put it in breads when you bake them. About everything you bake has some kind of sugar in it. There's sugar in about everything you eat, whether it's natural or something that's added.
I'm so proud to be a sugar beet farmer and a sugar producer. Sugar is so critical to everything we do in our life. From feeding the world celebrating great moments with a birthday cake. We just can't do any of that without real sugar. And to be part of that is really, really satisfying for me.